voice for the young people of this state, and we are all the better for it, so thank you for everything you've done. And thank all of you for being here. We have a range of folks, providers, business leaders, experts, advocates. And I expect that each of you are in your seat for the same reason that I do what I do, which is that we have a shared belief in the promise of North Carolina. That if you work hard, where you come from should never limit how far you can go. That our kids and grandkids should have a better and brighter future than we've had. Delivering on that promise is what drives me as your governor, just as I know it drives each of you every day. It all starts with our children. They deserve our fiercest advocacy, our deepest investment, and our greatest efforts. None of us benefits when a child does not have the chance to live up to the fullest of her God-given potential. So we have to create an environment that sets children up for success. And in North Carolina, we actually have a rich legacy on which to build. We were the first state in the country to require universal kindergarten. The folks at Smart Start have been doing this work for our youngest children for more than 3 decades at this stage. Back in 1993, I bet a number of you helped Governor Hunt to establish the first statewide comprehensive early childhood public-private partnership that has become a national example of how you balance a statewide vision with local needs and resources. The North Carolina Partnership for Children, the Department of Health and Human Services Division of Child Development and Early Education, the General Assembly, local partners, and providers each provide a key ingredient to the success of this equation. The work that you all do is so important. We know that a child's early years can impact the rest of his or her life. Early childhood experiences shape the brain's architecture, providing a foundation for future learning, behavior, and health. In particular, the time between birth and age 3 is a period of rapid brain development. Positive experiences during these years can set a young child on a strong, lifelong path. Conversely, traumatic experiences during these formative years can have just as significant negative impacts. We have got to take this investment seriously. There are many ways, unfortunately, where the state of North Carolina is not meeting people's child care needs. First, we do not have enough child care slots in North Carolina. Right now, there's only one childhood slot for 5 families that want it. Moms find out they're pregnant, and many of them have to immediately try to find a list to get on in the hope that one opens up by the time she needs it. Second, even if folks can find a child care slot, too often they can't afford to pay for it. Right now, the average cost of infant care in North Carolina is more than $12,000. That is more than the annual tuition at UNC Chapel Hill. That's too much. Economists say that child care should cost only 7% of a working person's income, but 4 in 5 families are paying more than that for infant care. Here's the catch. Even though it's expensive, child care providers are unable to pay good wages and benefits to their employees. It's not enough when the average childhood educator earns $10.73 an hour for them to be able to pay their bills, raise their family. About 40% of early childhood educators are on some form of public assistance. Friends, there's something wrong going on here. Because of low pay, we do not have enough people going into early childhood education. And without enough teachers in the classroom, there are not enough classrooms for the kids who need them. It is a vicious cycle we find ourselves in, and whether you have kids or not, this cycle harms every North Carolinian. Because when parents cannot find high-quality child care for their kids, or when they see that paying for care is more than they're going to be earning in their own salary or about the same, all too often they simply leave the workforce even when they do not want to. I want to be clear, any parent who wants to stay home with their child should be able to stay home with their child. But conversely, people who want to go to work and stay in their career should be able to stay in their career. It should be a choice. When we invest in child care and early education, everyone benefits. Parents get to keep working and keep building their career. We don't see as many vacancies or help wanted signs by small businesses in towns across North Carolina. And most importantly, of course, kids get a safe, nurturing, and supportive environment where they can learn and thrive during these formative years, one that could shape their entire educational trajectory. That's why, as Amy noted, in March I announced a new task force on child care and early education, chaired by Lieutenant Governor Rachel Hunt and Senator Jim Bergen. They're joined by a group of child care providers, legislators, business leaders, parents, community partners, and industry experts to figure out how we can best support parents and child care workers in the entire child care industry. Amy Covich is serving on that task force. Thank you, Amy, for doing that, as she noted. The leaders are coming together across the aisle and across geographies. They're going to examine opportunities and policy solutions that will expand the supply of accessible, affordable, high-quality child care and early education. Task Force had its first meeting in April. One of your colleagues, Amy Berry from the Buncombe Partnership for Children, shared how child care expansion grants can help us expand access and improve quality. I want to thank Amy for that presentation. We have to acknowledge the generations of leadership that early childhood providers and advocates have brought to this issue. I'm also grateful that the business community is participating as a partner in this effort. The North Carolina Chamber, the Chamber of Commerce, issued a report last year on understanding the child care cliff. Their report on the child care cliff was instrumental in our getting some funding to address the cliff. Each one of us, no matter our position, has a role to play in ensuring that kids get off to a strong start. One place where we each have a role is advocating for Head Start. Head Start and Early Head Start currently care for or educate roughly 800,000 children in this country, nearly 20,000 of our most vulnerable children here in North Carolina. Head Start makes kids healthier and readies them for school. In the long term, it increases the likelihood of going to college and getting a good-paying job. It reduces the likelihood of crime. That's to say nothing of the positive impact on working families, particularly those earning low wages. Having this care available helps them to pursue higher education or to build a career. Head Start is critical in North Carolina's rural areas, where these programs make up a great deal of the number of early childhood slots. It's critical to our healthcare system, our education system, our economy, and public safety. It is critical to our future. I'm deeply concerned by the federal proposals to fully eliminate Head Start as a program. Today, I will be sending a letter to our federal delegation urging them to reject any budget proposal that slashes Head Start. If we are choosing between billionaires and our children, I will choose our children every time. I urge y'all to reach out to your congressperson, reach out to your 2 United States senators, let them hear from you that you are watching. And if they take this away from them, we will not forget it when they're back up on the ballot. I am so grateful to each of you for what you do for the young people of North Carolina. No investment has a greater return than investing in our children. So let's keep educating and caring for our children. Let's urge the General Assembly and Congress to step up and do the right thing. Let's get to work so that together we can build a North Carolina that works even better for our children and families, that sets our next generation up for success. Thank you all for having me today, and I wish you the best at your conference.
Thank you, Governor Stein, for your continued leadership and your powerful words. He reminded us today that